Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Spotlight Fridays with Precious Jones. Real lives, real people. Tonight's guest, Tyrone Jones. If you'd like to call in and participate in the conversation, you can call 605-562-3140. And the PIN number is 554-747-pound. And here's Precious.
Good evening, everyone. This is your host, Precious Jones, with Spotlight Fridays, Real Lives, Real People, brought to you by Robin Lynn Productions. A hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to preserve and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. A hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. A hero shines brightly. A hero saves lives. A hero needs to be recognized. This person has saved many lives and continues to give back to enhance the lives of others. Everyone, please welcome Mr. Tyrone Jones. TJ, how are you doing today?
Hey, good evening to you, Precious. I'm doing just fine, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show. I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining us. So where are you from?
Well, originally I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I live in Tampa, Florida now, but I'm my roots, my heart, my soul is still from Baltimore.
Okay, that's nice to know. Okay, so how was your upbringing?
My upbringing?
In Baltimore. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's put it like this, to be honest. You ever hear the show they used to be on HBO called The Wire? Well,
yes.
If you know about that, that's how my upbringing was to quite an extent, but I want to say this real quick. I've been blessed with good parents, and even though I came from a lot of the streets in Baltimore, there was a lot of things going on around there in Baltimore. I had more fear of my parents than what I did of the streets. When they put that belt to me, I made sure I didn't get in any more trouble. So people out there in the streets got in trouble, but I made sure I stayed out of it because that belt hurt. Okay, let's put it like that.
And it does. Well, TJ, I know passion is something that the heart desires. At what age did you find your passion, and what was your passion?
You know what, Ashley, and to be honest, it may sound kind of corny to some people, I found my passion at the age, I remember my age exactly, but I know I was in the first grade. And we went to the fire academy for an event they was putting on for the kids out there. And I remember I was watching up there putting that fire out, and I was amazed. And I said, back then, I wanted to be a firefighter. So we went inside the firehouse, and one of the firefighters was in there, he was holding the kids up on the pole that they slide down. And he said, young man, do you want to slide down? I said, no, sir, I'm scared. I said, but one day, I'm going to slide down this pole.
Wow,
that may sound funny, but I remember it well. I remember it so well because that's just exactly what happened then. And thank God, at the age of 21, I became a firefighter. And even though I did 23 years in Baltimore City Fire Department, I was a lieutenant. And it would have been 30 years now, but it's still my passion. I still miss it. I still love it.
Okay. So you did say at 21 you became a firefighter, and you had to go through training and obtain any certifications?
Yes. Well, actually, in Baltimore, they send you through the fire academy, and actually you get paid for it also. You get a salary while you're there going through the academy. They give you the training. You get all kinds of certifications and stuff like that through MIFRE, through Homeland Security, through FEMA. A lot of those courses and things are available to you free of charge also, which is good for any young firefighter at that time. Back when I first came through, it was not mandatory that you have certain certifications as well as a college degree. But a lot of fire departments now, you don't have to come in there with a college degree, but in order for you to get promoted to certain officers' positions, you must have a degree in fire emergency management, or so forth.
Okay, that's good information to know. In training, did you have any fear or anxieties? Do you remember having any fear or anxieties just in training?
I mainly had a slight fear of height. The fire, I was ready for that. I was like, give me that fire. You give me that hose line. I'm ready for the fire. But we had to rappel off an 8-story tall building. 8 stories tall. You had to rappel, lean out backwards. And my first time, I was shaking. I was scared. I was really scared. And the officers, the trainers, they were very good. They helped me to calm down, relax. And as soon as I took my first feet off that building and leapt out and went on down, I ran back up to the top. My fear was gone. I was ready to do it again. So you'll have some fears, That heat is hot in there also, but it was enjoyable. It was a great experience in the fire academy. Great experience.
Good. Okay. A firefighter is a rescuer. You went through extensive training. In every job, there are several rules. So tell me one thing that you learned from training and you continue to use, like any type of tool or technique.
Well, you know what? Actually, one of the best things I learned in life really didn't come from the fire department. It came from when I was young and I was in the Boy Scouts. And our motto was, be prepared. And I tell all my clients now, I tell my friends and so forth, if anything in life, just remember that, to be prepared. And it has helped me tremendously throughout the rest of my life. It really has.
Okay.
I learned a lot in the fire department, yes. A lot of things I can share and share and go on with also.
Right.
That's helped me in life. But mainly that right there, the Boy Scouts, be prepared. And that is one of the best things I learned in my whole life.
At a young age, too.
Mm-hmm.
And you kept it with you. That's good.
Kept it with me. It really helped me.
Good. So at 21, you initially started working with the Baltimore City Fire Department. As a young adult, do you remember some of your coping mechanisms while working the job?
We had to deal with a lot. So there was a lot of things we had to learn to cope with, especially dealing with death. Seeing, of course, for anybody, young kids. That's sad. But for me, over time, it kind of went past the young kids because I didn't have them on a regular, even though we did have situations with young kids being injured, mangled from car accidents, and killed also from different situations too. But it was mainly the young adults. And coming from, I worked over in West Baltimore where the show The Wire was about, over in that area.
Okay.
Dealing with a lot of drugs and stuff. And when I kept seeing a lot of these young black men over there dealing drugs, appearing to be lost, getting shot and getting killed, and doing things themselves. That started to affect me, and I had to learn how to cope with that. And I went through therapy also at one time because I was young then, and knowing the streets and being a part of the street to an extent. But when you start helping out people, not just being selfish about your own, getting things on your own, getting money, and so forth, out in the streets, everything, I started helping people. And it started to affect me. I had to learn how to cope with that. And what also affected me was seeing the young ladies at young ages assaulted, raped. We had quite a few cases of that also. And the thing about the rape was that a lot of it came from a family member, an older uncle or cousin. It also came from a mother's boyfriend. And I was surprised at that because, a lot of times in life, we don't know certain things. We don't believe certain things until we experience it or until we see it firsthand. And they call it culture shock in the fire department. And even though I was of that culture in those neighborhoods and so forth, seeing it from a different perspective now really affected me for a while. So I learned to deal with that. And a lot of the firefighters, the older ones, were very instrumental in me dealing with those situations when I was younger.
Okay.
It really helped me out a whole lot.
Mentors.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Your duties and roles and responsibilities, I know they range. Could you tell me some of those?
You mean from the fire department?
Yes, from working as a firefighter.
Well, as a firefighter, there's a lot of responsibilities for us inside the firehouse as well as outside the firehouse. Because when we do outside the firehouse, we have to make sure that we still represent the fire department. So you go out here and get in trouble, representing the fire department in the wrong kind of way. And, of course, you got put on charges for that. And you could lose vacation days as well as lose your job, depending on how severe it was. But as an officer, management, and that's the main thing, managing the members inside the firehouse as well as on the fire ground. And I was an officer, and a lot of times I had to manage quite a few people on the fire ground. And even though the book, when you do your studies and so forth, it states that you can basically manage between 5 to 7 people at one time, all depending, okay? But when you're on the fire ground, you'll have other officers underneath of you also, and they help you and assist you in management, And those responsibilities were things that I accepted. Not only accepted, but actually I wanted. I like being in a position, not really of authority, but in a position to help out. Because when you know what you're doing, you know, I tell a lot of these young firefighters when they first came in, I say, study the books, learn the job. Because when you know what you're doing, you won't make as many mistakes. The less mistakes you make, the less frustration that you have. And it'll make your career so much better. And thank God some of them, they adhere to that advice. And a lot of those younger guys now are officers themselves. And I'm very proud of them, you know. So, and that's also part of my responsibility also, to sit here and mentor, you know. And it's not a given responsibility. It's one that I take on my own, to mentor those young guys, to teach them about things that the books don't teach you, definitely, and teach them things that a lot of other members don't teach them. Whether it comes to their health insurance, whether it comes to even them on their own personal life, when they go out to buy a house. A lot of them came to talk to me about, Lieutenant, what should I sit here and do? How should I go about this? I don't get into their personal affairs, you know, with them and their girlfriend, their wives. And I always tell my clients, and I always apply to myself also, keep it personable, not personal. You know, and as long as me in that position at work, as long as I kept it personable, I didn't get too much emotion involved in it. Whereas if they did something wrong or so, it affected how I would sit here and do my job, because I had to do my job according to how I had to sit here and do my job. So there's a lot of responsibilities there, but, you know, I welcome them.
Okay. And some of the challenges being a firefighter. I know there was challenges. I know there's advantages.
And to be honest, when I first got in the fire department, there was still some racism going on there, and that was a challenge. Me being young, being brash, and want to speak my mind and say what I want to say out of my mouth was not the right way. And the older guys taught me that. They taught me how to handle situations, you know, without always running my mouth, without letting my pride and ego step inside of there to affect my job. Because the more I kept on doing that with certain officers, I was young then. I was still a firefighter. And the fire department is a paramilitary style structure. And if I say the wrong thing to an officer, I can get put on charges. And I can lose my job also if it keeps on going on consistently. So the older guys taught me a lot of how to sit here and deal with things, you know. And I thank God for that, because had I not had them guys taking me under their wing, because they knew what it was like. You know, when they were younger, they told me about how they were also very similar to me. So I thank God for them taking me into their wing to guide me, to show me. And even some of them knocked me upside my head. I had two guys physically slapped me upside my head and said, "Are you stupid, boy? What's wrong with you? Keep your mouth shut and do your job." One guy named was Maurice Blow. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Maurice Blow twice slapped me upside my head when I came in the firehouse. Said, "What was wrong with you?" And I wasn't going to step to him. He was older. And I respected him for being older, even though I didn't like it, but it didn't matter to me. He got that respect. He put in the time. You know, he knew things I didn't know. I had to learn how to keep my mouth shut, listen, and learn. And it made my job so much easier. You know, so. Mouth
shut, listen, and learn. Good. That need to be in the school system. Mouth shut,
who you telling?
Listen, and learn. That's good. That's good. Can you share one of the times when you were faced with an emergency situation, and how did you impact the situation?
Now, when you say there was plenty of emergency situations, you mean like one where my wife?
For me, you can just choose one, you know, because I know your job is, you know, range, but I know one situation that probably stuck out to you, where you had to step in and you impact the whole situation, people's lives. It could have been a fire, you know, you had to go inside and pull someone out. I mean, I'm pretty sure you impacted so many lives, but do you have one that you can share with us?
You know what? Yes, I do. I have a great story, and I hope that the listeners bear with me through time. It's not a long story, but it's a great story, so please listen. When I first got in the fire department, a guy named Larry Barnwell, he was a firefighter. He was teaching me things that's not in the books. And he said, TJ, if you're ever inside a house that's on fire, and you're walking through it, and if you step on something that feels like a pillow, check it out. It might be a body. So I had 13 years in now. No, I'm sorry, I had 11 years in now. Never had the situation arise. Never even thought about what he told me, again, except sometime when I was training younger firefighters. We get a fire early one morning, and we go there, and we're starting to push back on the fire, and the lady, and one of the people outside said, "There's some people trapped inside of there." So we go up inside of there, and I remember this clearly. I go inside, and I'm walking through the house. You can't see nothing but the fire way back there in the back, and we're shooting water on the fire. As I'm walking through it, I step on something that felt soft and spongy. And that quick, in an instant like that, it came to my mind. Larry Barnwell, what he told me, if you ever walking through a fire, you can't see nothing, but if you step on something that feels soft like a pillow, check it out, it might be a body. I took my gloves off, reached down, and I felt a little hand in the arm. And I got scared real quick. I started breathing real hard. I knew it was a kid. Okay? So I'm trying to pull the kid out, but I saw something over top of the kid, and I saw another arm, a bigger arm, like it was an adult arm. But I can't see nothing. So I pulled that, thank God, I pulled that kid out. I rushed him down the steps. I passed him off to this one lieutenant down there, and I went back up. Remember, I saw an adult arm. I go to get the adult. I saw another little kid right there. I pulled that kid out, take the kid out to a friend of mine who's a paramedic, gave it to him, Greg Hanslick, I remember it clearly. Then I went back upstairs and I asked a friend of mine, said, give me a hand, there's a lady up here. Now I'm praying. I got my bottle on, that heavy equipment and so forth too. I ran up and down them steps twice. We pulled the lady out. Okay? I was scared. But thank God, they resuscitated them and got them back to life. Okay? But here's another part of the story. Right before I retired, I had a firefighter come to my house, my firehouse. He said, Lieutenant, may I speak to you for a minute? And I said, yeah. He said, you remember a fire you had a couple of years ago? You pulled out 2 kids and a lady? I was like, no, I can't remember that one. He said, it was around about X amount of years ago. It was on so-and-so street. You were at Engine 43 then? And I said, yeah, y'all remember that fire. So I proceeded to tell them about the fire, what happened, to teach them things. I love teaching those young guys about fires that we had. And when I got finished my story, he said, thanks, Lieutenant. Well, I'm sorry. He said, well, Lieutenant, I just want to say thank you. I said, you're welcome, man. Anything I can help y'all teach you something, man, I'll gladly do it. He said, no. I said, I'm saying thank you because that was my wife and 2 kids.
Wow.
And when he told me that, I watered up. But as a man in pride and ego, I didn't let my tears flow in front of him, but I felt it. I felt it. And then he said to me, that's what made me want to become a firefighter. That's a great impact to have on anyone. On anyone. And to this day, he and I are like family. You know, to this day. But I'll never forget that right there because when you make an impression on somebody that much from what you did in your life, when you're just doing your job, doing your career that you love passionately, to affect somebody and have them want to change their career. Because he was, at the time, he worked at the post office. Because everybody kept saying, where's so-and-so at, you know, her husband and everything. And they said he's at the post office at work. We're trying to contact him now. I remember all that clear, you know. But that's one of the best stories that I'll gladly share with you guys, everybody right now. And I'll never forget that.
Well, thank you. That's a great story. That's a great impact that you had on lives.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I'm sure your duties increased. I know you was 13 years prior to retiring. You became an officer lieutenant. I'm pretty sure the duties increased. Your stress was elevated. How did you make that decision to make that lateral move from a firefighter to an officer? Like, what was some of the decision making that you used to? Okay, I'm gonna not be a firefighter. I'm gonna move up in rank. Like, what was it?
What was it? At my old firehouse, at first, we were like a family there. And there was some older guys there and stuff like that. When they started retiring was when I started wanting to move up. Because at first, I didn't want to move up. We were like family. We had a great time. We shared Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving. We did everything together inside it. Off duty, we would all go bowling, go to each other's house for parties and stuff, like pool parties and everything. And I didn't want to leave that atmosphere because I loved it. It was nothing but like a family atmosphere. We all loved each other. We all bought food in for each other. It was just great. But when they started retiring and newer guys started coming in, I thought it was now my time to move up the ladder. Even though I could have done it, but I didn't want to leave that situation. I got a bit too comfortable there. In hindsight, I wish I would have moved up a little bit sooner to become chief and so forth, to really help out everybody as much as I could. But since I didn't do that, the years that I had with everybody there at my old firehouse at Engine 43 was like the best years of my life. Because you can't, it's nothing like going to work and it's not work. You know, it's not work. It was like fun. We get a fire, we make sure everybody's safe, come back to the firehouse, clean up, We eat some food, watch some TV, and go and wait for the next run. It was just great, you know. And we had some bickering, some arguments aside, just like families do. But guess what?
Right.
The older guys made sure it didn't linger on for a long time. They'll be like, y'all better go and talk to each other. Y'all ain't going to know, but y'all talk to each other. I love how the older guys taught us because it was right impactful how they taught us. It wasn't fear, nothing like that, but they gave it to us in a stern way to help us to become better people, you know. And
right.
that was a great thing that I had there at Engine 43.
Okay. So you as a officer lieutenant, you had firefighters that you oversee. You was a supervisor on the shift. Like, what was the role then?
It was
lieutenant.
It was of course, you know, management, office work, payroll, scheduling, all that stuff right there. Training, making sure the members get their training that they do. I also, as an officer, we always have battalion training, and most of the time the chief wanted me to sit here and do a lot of the training and stuff. I enjoy doing that anyhow. It was basic things like that, you know, some of the basic things you did on the job, but also a lot of times, even though, like I said, I kept it personable, not personal. And a lot of times, you know, when somebody is comfortable with talking to you, they'll share almost anything with you. And as much as I tried not to make it personal, to know their personal lives too much, you know, they still would talk to me about their personal lives and get advice and so forth too, you know. And, you know, I have to say this. As a firefighter, I did that with a lot of my friends, my peers then. But when I made it as an officer, it's funny, I even had a lot of officers come and talk to me. You know, not really about their personal life per se, but it's about some matters they had at their firehouse with certain firefighters. How should they handle it and so forth too. You know, so we all worked in unison. We all worked together, which was a good thing, you know. But those duties, you know, they were just like some basic. It's the firehouse is it's a different culture there, but a lot of the duties are pretty much the same as a business manager and an officer and so forth too.
Okay. One more question before I move to the next topic. How did you get the name Mr. Reliable?
You know, I got that name twice. I got it.
Okay.
I attended Mervo, Mercantile Senior High School in Baltimore. And there were these two twins, Calvin and Kevin Carr. And they will always say, TJ, you always preaching a good word. You're so reliable. And from there on, a lot of people there kind of like started calling me, not Mr. Reliable, it's called me Reliable Tyrone. Okay, that was my name. They didn't really call me TJ back then. So when I got into the firehouse, actually, my lieutenant started calling Mr. Reliable because he knew that whenever he was there and when he wasn't there, it got done. And he knew that I would make sure it get done, you know. And even when the chief started calling Mr. Reliable also, because he knew that whenever my officer was not there, and I was acting in that position as an acting lieutenant at that time, he knew that whatever needed to be done would get done by me. Even things the officers missed previous days, I got it done. So they knew I was reliable.
Okay. So what advice would you give a person that wants to pursue a career as a firefighter?
I would tell them go for it. Male, female, like anyone, go for it. It's a great career. Learn as much as you can learn. Move up the ladder as high as you can move up, but always be fair. Always be fair. Because some situations, you got to go by the book on some, but sometimes you can understand things. You know, sometimes you got to sit here and make decisions, sometimes a little bit outside of what the books may tell you to sit here and do, outside of the rules and regulations. You know, have I made something like that? Yes, I did. Would I sit here and do it again? Yes, I would. You know, am I snitching on myself? I don't care. You know, but the decisions I made helped out other people. It kept them from getting in trouble because they're good people, you know. And, you know, I would say just go for it, definitely.
Okay, good. Presently, you're a life coach?
Yes, the good stuff now. Let's get into the good stuff. Yes, I am.
So what's the name of your organization, your business? What's the name?
It's called Be a Bayo. And all of this is, please, right now while you're online, please go to Facebook. Like me on Facebook. Go to Instagram. Also join me on Instagram. And it's pronounced Be a Bayo, and it's spelled B-E-A-B-E-Y-O. Be a Bayo is an acronym, and it means Be a better you. And that's something that most of us, almost everybody out here is striving to do. Be better. Okay?
Right.
And with me as a life coach, I assist, coach, and lead my clients and my friends and whoever into being a better them. Like I tell everybody, you will never be perfect, but you can always be better.
Okay. Miss Robin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do we have any callers that would like to ask TJ, life coach, any questions?
We do have several callers on the line. If anyone wants to ask TJ a question, just dial *6 to get into the queue, and we will bring you in. Yes, I have a question. My hand is raised.
Okay.
So I can see that you have a passion for mentoring and teaching, and I just want to commend you on that because, you know, if you look at the basketball players that make the VIP and the football teams and all of that, and actors, they all have coaches. So I'm glad that you talk about education because that continuing education is really, really key. We've got a caller, and so I'll just bring them in right now. Caller, last four numbers is 3262. Do you have a question for TJ?
Hi, yes. My name is Jay. I was wondering, what exactly does life coaching entail? Is it just dating and relationships, or is it, spiritual practice? What is life coaching?
Hey, Jay, first, thanks for calling in. Life coaching entails quite a few things. Once you sit here and start reading up on it and studying it, you must pick out your niche area. Where your strong points are. To be too broad is going to be a life coach in so many different areas. Narrow it down. And actually, once you narrow it down, it'll help you become a better life coach. Life coach consists of dating, relationship, executive life coaching, business life coaching, career life coaching as well. And basically, as I tell everybody, life coach is not about us telling you what to do or how to do it. Because what to do and how to do is how we would do it and how we should do it. For you, it may be something different. Okay? So it's basically to sit down, talk, listen, for us to ask you the right questions, the certain questions pertaining to where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do. And most of the time, when we sit down and talk to somebody, they know their answers. They already know what they should be doing. A lot of people already sit here and say, yeah, I know. As I tell any of my clients, if you know, then why aren't you doing it? Let's get you to start doing it. And as our job as a life coach is for us to sit here now to coach you into doing the things that you know you should be doing, for us to guide you into learning a lot of times what you're not fully sure of yet, but to learn those things to get that confidence in yourself to start going into the direction that you know you should be going in. And it's supposed to sit here and help you with that, whether it's once a week, twice a week, whether it's, well, I tell anybody, starting out, give yourself at least 3 months, because that's when you really, really start seeing a change. Talk and go to your life coach once or twice a week. Is it costly? It might be for some. Yes, but it's a service that's going to help you out in life. And what you're going to get from that is priceless. So life coaching, it hits many different areas. With me as a life coach, my niche area is dating and relationships, but I also enjoy doing, which I also love to do, is coaching with mainly women, females, professional, executive, entrepreneurial business women and so forth, because a lot of them, they love their career to an extent, but it's still not fully happy and fulfilled. They have the money, they have the prestige, they have the position, okay, but they still feel like something is lacking. And that's where I come in, to help them get that fulfillment and happiness that they want in life. So life coaching, it's many different areas. Even spiritual. Spiritual life coaching is great for everyone. Trust me, everyone. I had a good friend of mine, he was interested in becoming a spiritual life coach. And I talked to him about that, and now he's pursuing that career he did for himself. And I'm glad for him. He's going to make a good one also. He really is going to make he's very spiritual. And actually, a lot of times he and I sit down and talk, and I learn a lot from him as well. And you can, not only do you sit here, and one of the best things to do is before you hire your life coach, meet up with them. Make sure y'all have the right connection, because everybody's not for everybody. Sit down, talk, ask them some questions. Make sure y'all sitting down laughing together. See if this life coach is about a certain technique. If it's going by a point-by-point kind of plan for you. If they are, my opinion, no, that's not what you need. Because that point-by-point is not for everybody, okay? Everybody is different. We must listen to you and see and let you pretty much lead to a certain extent. And we help guide you to where you want to sit here and go. Not where we're trying to take you, but where you want to go. Are you here, Jay?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for the information. I greatly appreciate it. While you were talking, I was actually checking out beabayo.com and just seeing what was on there. So definitely like the website, and I'm going to. What's your email? Do you have an email address, or do I just contact you through beayo.com to maybe sit down and get maybe a couple of sessions?
Okay, no problem. My email address is info@beabayo.com. Okay, but also on my website, you'll see contact in the bottom right corner. Hit the contact button, and you can easily set up a face-to-face or even a telephone consultation with me. I give everyone new. I give them a free 1 hour consultation. We can sit down and talk on the phone. We can Skype or face-to-face. I prefer face-to-face. It's more personal. I enjoy it. I like to sit down with somebody, get a good feel and impressions from them. I want you to do the same thing with me. Sit down, talk to me. Let's laugh. Let's joke. Let's talk a little bit. Okay? Let's make sure we are good. We are a good fit for each other. And then from there, we'll go on. So please, info@beabayo.com, or while you're on my site, hit the contact button. It's an appointment. I'm glad to talk to you at any time. Thanks for calling in, Jay. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Really quick, one more thing. What was your name on Facebook again? It's Abeyo, A-B-E?
No, it's Beabayo. B-E-A-B-E-Y-O. Beabayo.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good evening, Jay.
All right. If there's any other callers, just press *6 to get in the queue. Yes. I love it how you say that as a coach, you're there to guide them, not to tell them what to do, but to guide them, because, some people get it twisted. And they'll go, well, I'm mentoring this person, and then they're just really just running over people's lives, And so I'm really glad that you mentioned that. That's very, very, very important, because I believe that, we all have it in us. We all have the answer, but sometimes we don't realize that we do. So when you have that good sounding board that you can, bounce off of, I think that's real important. Yeah, that's a real vital service that you're providing. So I'm grateful to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and you're more than welcome. But going back to something you said, and when I was in the fire department, I went to therapy because a lot of the death I was seeing, and not just the death I was seeing, it was the kind of death that I was seeing. Okay, how these young people were dying and so forth. I went to therapy, and I went twice. Because the first time I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of it, and the second time I felt the same way again. Because basically they was just going so deep into my past, and I don't, please do not get me wrong. I am nowhere near knocking a therapist. I'm just saying it wasn't what I needed at that time. But it was going deep into my past to find out certain things. I never really felt comfortable, and they kept trying to tell me what to do and how to do it. And it was not until I got me a life coach, that I really started seeing changes. And she sat down with me. We would meet once a week, face-to-face, and we had great conversations. And I know that most of the conversations, I was just talking, and she was just listening. And that's what a lot of people want. But she would still guide me, ask me certain questions that gave me my own answers. And then she coached me and guided me into sitting here doing what it is that I knew I should be doing. And when I started doing that, I really started seeing a change in my life. And after that, I was like, you know what? When I retired from the fire department, I wouldn't mind doing this. And that's what I'm doing right now. And this is my second passion because I really enjoyed it. I love it. There's nothing like having your clients tell you thank you. There's nothing like when you sit here and see your clients making changes in their life, not by you telling them what to do, but by them doing the things they know they should be doing, and you see it work out for them. It feels good. My joy comes from other people's joy and happiness, not always my own. But I enjoy seeing that right there.
Wow. Well, you don't have any more callers in the queue.
That's okay. We can
Well,
continue
I
talking
have
on
another
here.
question, Mr. TJ.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you have to get to know your clients and you assess their goals. What are some of the strategies you use to help yourself and your clients to meet their goals?
Well, each client is different. I really don't have no particular strategy. And I learned this from me studying about becoming a life coach. Is basically you let them lead. You don't go into no strategy on how you're going to do things because how you plan on doing it may not be what they need at that time. But I do base BABO on 4 principles. Balance, which is mind, body, spirit, and emotion. Simplicity. Communication and peace. Now I'm going to go back to balance first. Balance, when we have balance in our life, and I'm talking about really in our daily life, you really want to have balance in your daily life in those 4 categories: mind, body, spirit, and emotion. Because if your emotions is off, you don't have balance that day. But the other 3 will help to balance it out. If you're off in 2 of those or 3 of those, you must now really, I do suggest that you call your life coach or you call someone and talk to them because you got to have balance on a daily basis. Okay? Simplicity is one of the easiest ones. Okay? Really, we make our lives more technical and more hard than what they need to be. So like I said, as a life coach, a lot of times my clients know their answers. So if we do what we know we should be doing, not what we want to do, not what we think we should be doing, and especially not what we feel we should be doing, a lot of times you'll get different results. Simplicity. It goes back like when I was a kid, my mother would say, and people know this old saying right here. She'll say, don't touch the frying pan, don't touch that pan handle because it's hot. And what do your dumb butt do? Touch the pan handle. And now you feel it, now you burnt your hand. So simplicity is, if you know you shouldn't be doing something, then don't do it. If you know something you should be doing, then do it. Whether it's about relationships, if you know this person is not the right person for you, and what holds us in there a lot of times is that emotion connection we have for them. If you let that go, and it's not easy to do, but that's why as a coach, I help people in this area. Okay? We get you to see and learn how to let go of that emotion right there. And then you can move on better in your life. And one of the easiest way to do it is this right here. If you had an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, they are not your ex anymore. They are back to being their full namesake. If her name was Tanya Jones, that's her name, Tanya Jones. She is not my ex. As long as you keep saying that's my ex-girlfriend, you're still holding on to it. Let that go. When I retired from the fire department, which was hard, I had to remember that I'm not Lieutenant Jones no more. I'm back to being Tyrone Jones. And for a long time, I still associate myself as Lieutenant Jones. And for a long time, I never let go of the fire department. But when I was finally able to detach that name from me and realize that I'm not Lieutenant Jones anymore, I'm back to being Tyrone Jones again. I had to find out who I was again and then live my life anew as Tyrone Jones again, not as Lieutenant Jones anymore. Okay? Let's go to peace. Let's go to communication. Communication, people do not understand communication. Communication is one of the prime things we all must have and do in life. Miscommunication can lead to so many problems. It leads to arguments, it leads to fights, it leads to frustration, it leads to so many negative things. But when you have proper communication, which is more so direct communication, ask yes or no answer. Ask yes or no question so you get a yes or no answer, not no beat around the bush answer. Okay, because I do with my clients. I ask them a question, and when they're beating around the bush, I let them talk. And when they get finished, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to ask you again, yes or no, and then I'll ask them the question. Because this way it's being direct. Okay? But communication is very essential in everything out here, in our personal lives and our professional life. And peace.
We have another caller.
Okay.
Caller, are you there? 8645. You have a question?
Yes, actually. Hi, my name is Heather. My question is actually, I'm sure as a life coach, a lot of what you deal with, and also, first let me start with thanking you for your service as a firefighter. That story was amazing.
Well, thank you.
But a lot of what you deal with and a lot of what people deal with probably has to do a lot with communication and how people communicate with each other. How do you help people in communicating what they need and what they want and things like that.
Well, first, Heather, thanks for calling in, and thanks for appreciating my service in the fire department. Helping them is difficult at sometimes starting out with some people because some people don't understand fully communication. Some people think they're good communicators, but a lot of times we must improve our communication. And what I tell everybody is ask directly what you want to know or what it is that you want. Because a lot of people ask they beat around the bush, they ask around the world questions and so forth that the person don't fully understand. So when it comes to communication, one of the best things to do is to be more direct, ask exactly what it is that you want to ask in the right kind of way. And a lot of times communication also deals with how you and that person communicate. Because if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and if y'all communicate a certain kind of way, you must find the best way, the way that the two of you communicate so they can understand what it is you're trying to get across to them. Okay? And if you feel as though that there's not being proper communication, then start all over again. Let them know, say, hold up, let me stop for a minute. Let me try to rephrase this. Or let me change this so you can understand a little bit better. Okay? Because, and we have to remember also, when it comes to communication, the response you get back may not be what you desire, want, or need, but that's still communication. And a lot of times people who think it's part of, it's still part of communication in the feedback that you get. Okay? But if you want to accept that feedback, it's up to you. But that's the communication part between you and that person. It's real simple. You have the sender, you have the receiver, you have the medium, you have the message. Okay? And basically, you go back and forth with that. The sender sends the message through the medium, goes to the receiver, and then you have the feedback also, in which they send it right back to you. And keeping it simple. Simple questions, direct questions helps a lot with communication. Okay? And if the other person is giving you off the path kind of answer, stop them, or wait to get finished, then ask your same question again. And if you're not getting the response that you want, answer that you want, sometimes your answer is right inside their response. You just got to listen a little bit differently sometimes to what they're saying. Okay? Heather?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not sure she's still there.
If you want to get in the queue, we've got a few minutes left. Press *6 if you want to talk to TJ.
TJ, I have another question.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, dear.
Sorry. I have a question of my own.
Okay.
And it's about transitioning. Transitioning from one place to another. When you've been at this one place for a long time, of course, anxiety sets in. So it's not going to be the same coworkers, or it's not going to be the same pay. It's not going to be the same. Just switching jobs. And then sometimes it's like, oh my God, just stuff out of the norm. It's hard to even, like, I'm thinking ahead of time, and I really can't see the future. But it's like I'm trying to paint this picture. Compare and contrasting. And I know it's not a good thing to do that. But it's just the transition from one place to the next with the anxiety. I mean, what is, like, some of the, tell me something. Tell me something.
How to cope with it.
How should I, how to deal with that. Tell me, how do I move from one to the next and take all that out of that with the anxiety and thinking that it's going to be something that is not, and just that fear.
Well, first, you already answered your own question. You already said that you shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
Okay? So if you know you shouldn't be doing that, see, me as your coach, we'll take time to sit here for me to coach you, to help you just say and do things that you already know. Okay?
Okay.
But in dealing with anxiety and so forth, too, let me ask this right here. If you're going to a new place, do you have expectations? And are you assuming certain things are going to be a certain kind of way when you get there from the beginning? Okay?
Yes.
If you have those, eliminate those. The only expectations you have are expectations on yourself, not of others. You should not assume on others either, because you assume on others, we know what that statement says right there. But at the same time, assuming also leads to problems. Okay? If you know somebody else there already, and they're already telling you how things are going to be there, what person to look out for, and so forth, don't listen to them. Because, see, that's their opinion of that person and of things there. Because when you get there, from your personality, from your background, from your experience, you may view it differently. It's about being fair to everybody, giving everybody a fair chance. You move to a new place, you go into a new career, so everything. Be the anxiety. There will be anxiety there, but when you are confident in yourself, you don't worry about it because you're there to do a job. That's it. You're there to do a job. It's not about everybody else there. I'm there to do my job to make sure I fit in, to make sure I can do my job the best that I can sit in and do it. Anything else? We'll see about that when it comes, when it happens. But I'm going to be professional. I'm going to be personable, not personal. Because your personal life, if they talk about somebody else's personal life, say, you know what, I'd rather not hear that. Because that's none of your business. And then once you get caught up into that kind of stuff right there, it's an ongoing, it's an ongoing thing, and it's not good. It's not good. The best thing to do is keep your position to a certain distance with everybody inside of there. Go into that new spot, not expecting nothing of no one, just for people to do their job the same way you're going to do your job.
Okay.
And then you'll learn how to function. Then as time go on, you'll see who's not doing their job, who is doing their job, where you may need help at in certain areas and so forth, who you can go to for that help, okay? It makes it so much easier and better. But the assumptions, the expectations, letting go of those, and not just professionally, but also personally, helps to ease up on a lot of anxiety we may sit here and have. You only expect from yourself. And some people may not agree with that, but trust me, that's what it is, because only you know what you want to do and what you can do. To expect somebody to do something the way that you expect them to sit here and do it is wrong. That's not fair to that person. Because a lot of us, we don't like people to expect of us either. Okay? So don't expect of them. Just do your job the way you're supposed to, because that's what you're there for. It's a new position. You already have the experience and training in it. You want to do well in it, whatever it might be. And just think highly of yourself in those areas.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. So I have a question for you, Precious.
Yes.
So how are you enjoying your show? Do you have anxiety before you get on the show?
I do. I really do. I have anxiety. Oh, my God, yes. I think I rehearse looking at myself in the mirror.
Okay. That's a good thing.
Asking questions. I do that. I look at my facial expression. I talk with my hand. And that helps me to express what I'm saying. And and then another thing I do is before the show, I use the bathroom like 2-3 times. So I really have anxiety. But once I get on and I start speaking, I get comfortable, and I get settled. And then, I'm good. I'm good.
and you the best thing to do. Oh, man. I don't have that anxiety. No, one of the best things to do is sit here and just let it flow. Let it flow.
Right.
Just let it flow. Because you can plan on something going a certain kind of way. Again, like I said, my motto is be prepared. You have certain questions down. But you know what? One question you may ask, respond, the guest may say something. But you know what? You ask this question, something that came to you. Let it flow. Just let it flow. And it makes it easier. And then also the anxiety you have, just look forward to it. I was looking forward to the show. When you asked me to be on it, I was like, yes, I can't wait to be on it. No anxiety. I'm just like, let's do this. It's a good thing.
I'm nervous with, anything that I do that's new, that I'm adjusting to, I'm nervous. It's just nervous. Like, if have a new client and I'm going to a home, I'm nervous because I don't know them. They don't know me. So I want to make a good impression. I want to be, overly polite. I want to just make a good impression and do my job. So I get anxiety quick and I get nervous, but I'm dealing with it.
I'll say this. It didn't show, so that's good. And you're doing a good job on your show. You're doing a good job, so it didn't show. So you're not going to talk. You go to the bathroom. You'll go in the bathroom once before the show, and then you'll be going that all before the show. Okay, so we're going to work on that. All right. Or even you're going to be drinking less water, one or the other. All right.
Yeah, I have to drink less water. I think I had some tea. I had some tea before I got on.
Oh, so tea will definitely send you the best. That's the reason why.
I love drinking hot green tea.
Okay, well that's good for you.
Yes. Ms. Robin Lynn,
All right.
we're going to do this question of the day.
Yes. And the question of the day, TJ, we're going to ask you a question, and if you get it right, you will win something.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And the question is, what's cooler than cool?
What's cooler than cool? Oh, please,
Yes.
that's me. That's me. So what did I win? What did I win?
Tell him what he won.
Wrong answer.
Oh,
Wrong
what's
answer.
cooler than cool?
Yes, the answer was ice cold.
Ice cold. I was saying ice cube. That's what I was going to say. Ice cold. Okay.
The judges would have accepted that. So, but you know,
well,
it's
I tell you
actually,
what. Y'all won because that was ice cold right there. All right, that was cold. Okay,
Well,
so y'all won.
I'm gonna tell you what's really cold. See, because if you had a one, we actually don't have anything to give you. That's why we tell you you'd win something.
Right.
Well, I like that, Rachel. Well,
So,
I got more from nothing than you'll give me something.
So, you know, we didn't have to get anxiety and go to the bathroom and all that trying to come up with a prize for you.
No.
So thank you. Thank you for your participation.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. This is what I'm going to do, okay? I'm
Yes.
going to next time you get someone on it, okay, and you ask them the question, they get it right, come to get a free session with me. No, I'm sorry,
Oh,
you change
wow.
that.
Okay.
No, you know what? They get 2 free sessions because one is what I normally give anyone anyhow, okay? But they also they get 2 free sessions with me. So whoever get it right,
Okay.
and plus you know I'm a man of my word, dear. So all you got to do is call me and let me know, and we'll set it up. And they will get 2 free sessions with whoever get it right. So for all the callers out there,
that.
hey, that's the least I can say here. Do anything to help her out, and it's also good to help anyone else out also. Okay? So now you got something to give away, okay?
Yeah, we really appreciate that.
But
now I'm thinking
you.
about something. You're welcome.
That, you know, that's really awesome. I mean, we get a consolation prize and we ain't won nothing. Wow,
Hey,
this is a
can
really
I say
cool
something
show,
also?
Precious. I like being
Yeah,
on the
no,
show.
I'm excited.
Hey, before we leave, I'd like to say something also, Precious, okay? And this is to all the listeners out there. This time of year, we have a lot of people who are dealing with stress and depression because it's Christmas time. And a lot of people don't have family with them, or they're alone, they're single, or they have problems, so forth. This time of year, we have a lot of deaths also. So this to anyone out there, if you or anyone you know is dealing with depression or stress at this time of year, and they need someone to talk to, please have them call me. And they will get free sessions, okay? They'll get at least 2 or 3 free sessions. And I mean, I'm not just trying to promote myself at all, no. But I want to help out people because if this helps anyone out from doing anything wrong, I want to be there to help. And I want to say this real quick. About 5 years ago, during this time of year, a good friend of mine, one of my captains from also one of my chiefs in Baltimore City Fire Department, a good female friend of ours, she committed suicide because she was dealing with depression. And when he told me about it, he said, I wish he would have called you, and I wish you would have also. So if I couldn't help her out because she never reached out to me. But if anyone out there, if you know of anyone, or if even yourself is dealing with anything at all, please do not let your pride, your ego, do not be too shy to call me. Go to my website, please. Contact me and just say, I heard you from the show. I heard you from Spotlight Friday. Or just say, please, can I talk to you? I will gladly talk to you and give you at least 3 free sessions. Because I don't want anyone doing anything wrong to themselves at this time of year or any time at all. But if I can help out anyone, please let them know I'm here for you. Okay? And the same thing for you, too. If you know anybody else out there in that kind of way who needs someone to talk to, please have them contact me.
Could you give the contact information again?
I'm sorry?
Your contact information again for the listeners?
Contact, it is www.beabeyo.com. beabeyo.com. Okay? Go there. Go to contact and just send me a message. Okay? And I will gladly contact you so we can sit here and meet up, talk, or whatever. Okay? So that's www.beabeyo.com. beabeyo.com, which means be a better you.
It's worth it.
Wow.
Well, thank you. And like I said,
do you
help
have
out anyone.
any last words, Mr. TJ?
Actually, yes, I do. I got a lot of last words. I want to say, Precious, first of all, thanks for having me on the show, both of you. I wish the two of you happy holidays, but thanks for allowing me to be on the show, to be a part of this.
Thank you.
And I commend you also on what you're doing, because I'm sure I talked quite a few times. And you told me about your anxiety and your shyness and so forth, but to see you now doing your own radio show, I commend you on that, dear. I'm glad you're getting out of that right there. I'm glad to see you continue moving up with your blessings that you're receiving from God, and also being a blessing to other people as well. Okay? So I want to thank you for that. And I definitely wish the two of you happy holidays. Okay?
Thank you.
Mr. TJ.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
Hello?
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of Spotlight Fridays. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. So happy holidays, everyone, and Merry Christmas. I think we'll be back just before the New Year's. Is that correct?
I believe the next one is New Year's, so we'll be back the week after that, because that Friday is January the 1st.
Okay, so we'll probably be back right on schedule then. So all right. Okay, well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I just want to say congratulations to you again for winning the Best Station of the Year award for the Global Spreaker Awards. You're doing awesome things. Tonight was another shining example. So thank you so much, Precious. And we'll see everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Robin, for the opportunity.
Yeah, you're welcome. We'll see everyone next year. All right. Take care, everyone. Good night.